150,000 people thought they knew the truth about Dino and Zahra. They watched their TikTok videos, liked their posts, and followed every moment of what seemed like the perfect relationship. Young, attractive, and deeply in love, or at least that's what the camera showed. But on a summer night in July 2024, the carefully crafted world of Ladarius, Dino, Brownlee, and Syeda Zahra, Hashemi came crashing down in the most violent way possible. In a matter of seconds, their viral love story transformed into a criminal case that would leave one fighting for her life and the other facing serious felony charges. What happened that night wasn't captured on camera. There were no Ring doorbell videos, no live streams, no TikTok documentation. Just two people, a heated argument, and a gunshot that changed everything. When the smoke cleared, Zahra lay bleeding from a wound above her right eye, a wound that could have easily been fatal.
Now, their more than 150,000 followers want to know what happened.
Act surprised.
And how this internet couple could end like this. Hashemi shot in the head, and Brownlee facing charges he did it. After 4th of July fireworks at Flower Mound's Bakersfield Park, a police affidavit says the couple got into a heated argument. Then police say it turned physical, and as he drove down Flower Mound Road, Brownlee stopped the vehicle and with his left hand removed a 10 Glock firearm from the driver door pocket. The affidavit says he shot Hashemi in her head, just above her right eye. The unseen side of a relationship posted for all to view.
Police tell me they're keeping a close eye on Hashemi's condition. They say she'll be in the hospital likely for a long time, and they say they could still add more charges against her one-time boyfriend. In Flower Mound, I'm Cole Sullivan.
I'm finna pour your cereal. Nah, I'm gonna do it. What? What did you just say? I'm gonna pour my... But why do you want to pour your own cereal? I just told you I was gonna pour your cereal. Why do you want to be so fucking stupid? I ain't even did shit to you. Like what? No, you just sound fucking stupid and you're finna fucking piss me off.
I didn't say you sound fucking stupid.
The story you're about to hear exposes a dangerous gap between online personas and reality. It's about how quickly viral fame can turn toxic and how the justice system handles cases where the line between accident and intent becomes blurred. Stay tuned as we reveal everything about this case. Drop a comment if you've ever seen a relationship that looked perfect online, but made you wonder what was really happening behind closed doors. Your engagement helps me bring you more stories like this one. Welcome to our channel. Please like this video, share and subscribe to this channel to help raise awareness and spread caution. Let's begin. Ladarius Brownlee, known as followers as Dino, wasn't your typical overnight social media success. Like many TikTok creators, he started small, posting content that gradually gained traction through consistent engagement and relatable material. His charisma and natural ability to connect with viewers helped him build a dedicated following. Syeda Hashemi, who went by Zahra online, brought her own unique appeal to the platform. Together, they discovered that their chemistry translated well to short-form video content, and their relationship became the cornerstone of their online brand. Their content strategy was simple but effective. They shared glimpses of their daily lives, relationship milestones, and the kind of authentic moments that make viewers feel like they're part of something special. The authenticity, or at least the appearance of it, was what set them apart in a crowded field of content creators. The couple's follower count grew steadily as they mastered the art of TikTok engagement. They understood timing, trending sounds, and how to create content that encouraged shares and comments. Their videos often feature the everyday moments that couples experience. Cooking together, getting ready for dates, playful arguments, and celebrations of their relationship milestones. What resonated most with their audience was how normal they seemed. Unlike influencers who flaunted expensive lifestyles or manufactured drama, Dino and Zahra presented themselves as a regular couple who just happened to be really good at making content.
I got control around this motherfucker. You see how I tell them dogs be up on that. I say, get your ass down. See, watch it. Get your ass down. You see that? Cause I got control. They don't listen to you. Kiara, watch this. Yeah, come here. Tell her get down.
All right, get down. Get down. Get down.
Touch her. Don't touch her.
Get down. Here.
Get down. That's what I'm talking about.
This relatability factor was crucial to their growth and helped them amass over 150,000 followers across their platforms. Their comment sections were filled with followers expressing relationship goals and asking for advice. Many viewers saw them as an example of young love done right. Two people who genuinely cared for each other and weren't afraid to show it publicly. The couple became particularly skilled at creating content around relationship dynamics that their audience could relate to. They would post about communication in relationships, dealing with disagreements, and supporting each other through challenges. This type of content not only entertained, but also positioned them as a couple worth looking up to. Their success on TikTok opened doors to other opportunities. Like many successful creators, they began exploring ways to monetize their influence through brand partnerships and sponsored content. The more their following grew, the more their relationship became not just personal but also professional. However, building a brand around your relationship creates unique pressures. Every argument, every disagreement, every rough patch becomes a potential threat to your livelihood. The line between private life and public performance becomes increasingly blurred when your relationship is literally your job. Their followers had no way of knowing what happened when the cameras stopped rolling. They saw the highlight reel, the best moments, the happiest times, the most photogenic aspects of Dino and Zahra's life together. But social media, by its very nature, only shows what creators choose to share. The pressure to maintain this perfect image can be intense. When your relationship becomes content, authenticity becomes complicated. Do you share the real struggles, potentially damaging your brand? Or do you keep up appearances, creating a gap between reality and online persona that can become dangerous? July 2024 started like any other month for the couple, but it would end with their lives forever altered. The exact details of what led to the shooting remain known only to those who were there, but what we do know paints a picture of a relationship that had serious problems beneath the surface. The incident occurred during what has been described as a heated argument between Brownlee and Hashemi. The nature of this argument, what started it, how long it had been building, whether it was part of a pattern, remains largely private due to the legal proceedings that followed. What we know for certain is that during this confrontation, a firearm was present. The gun belonged to Brownlee, and at some point during the argument, it was discharged. The bullet struck Hashemi above her right eye, causing life-threatening injuries that could have easily been fatal. Brownlee's version of events, as presented through his legal representation, was that the gun discharged accidentally. This claim became central to his defense and likely played a significant role in the plea negotiations that would follow. However, the prosecution clearly felt there was enough evidence to pursue serious felony charges. The immediate aftermath of the shooting shows a crucial detail that may have influenced the legal outcome. Brownlee called 911 himself, reporting the incident and requesting emergency medical assistance. This action likely saved Hashemi's life and demonstrated what prosecutors and defense attorneys would later consider when evaluating his intent and character. Emergency responders arrived to find Hashemi with a gunshot wound that required immediate and intensive medical intervention. The location of the wound, above the right eye, was particularly dangerous given its proximity to the brain. Even a slight difference in trajectory could have resulted in a very different outcome. Hashemi was rushed to the hospital where medical teams worked to save her life. The fact that she survived this injury is remarkable, considering the potential for fatal complications from head trauma involving firearms. Her recovery would be long and difficult, involving not just physical healing, but also dealing with the emotional trauma of the incident. For Brownlee, the reality of what had happened set in quickly. Even if the shooting was accidental, as he claimed, he was facing the possibility of serious prison time. Texas law doesn't require intent to kill for aggravated assault charges, and the severity of Hashemi's injuries meant prosecutors had strong grounds for significant charges. The investigation that followed involved collecting evidence from the scene, interviewing witnesses, and reconstructing the events of that night. Law enforcement had to determine whether this was truly an accident, a crime of passion, or something more calculated. During this time, their social media presence, once a foundation of their success, became a potential liability. Every post, every video, every public interaction was now potential evidence in a criminal case. The same platforms that had brought them fame were now being scrutinized for signs of their relationship's true nature. The shooting marked the end of their content creation as a couple. Their followers, who had watched their relationship unfold online, were left with questions and speculation. The comment sections of their previous videos became filled with concerns, theories, and debates about what really happened that night. For Hashemi, the road to recovery was just beginning. Beyond the physical healing from a near-fatal gunshot wound, she faced the emotional trauma of being shot by someone she loved and trusted. The public nature of their relationship meant her recovery would happen under the scrutiny of thousands of followers and media attention. The charges against Brownlee were serious and reflected the gravity of Hashemi's injuries. He was arrested on charges including aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury and deadly conduct by discharging a firearm, charges that could have resulted in significant prison time if he had been convicted at trial. Aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury is a second-degree felony in Texas, carrying a potential sentence of 2 to 20 years in prison. The deadly conduct charge added another layer of legal jeopardy. Combined, these charges meant Brownlee was facing the possibility of decades behind bars if a jury found him guilty. From July 2024, when the shooting occurred, until February 2025, Brownlee remained in custody. This 7-month period gave both the prosecution and defense time to build their cases and explore potential resolutions. During this time, the evidence was analyzed, witness statements were taken, and negotiations likely began regarding a possible plea agreement. The decision to accept a plea deal rather than go to trial is always complex. For defendants, it means giving up the right to have their case heard by a jury in exchange for a more predictable outcome. For prosecutors, it ensures a conviction without the uncertainty and expense of a trial. In February 2025, Brownlee accepted a plea agreement that resulted in probation rather than prison time. This outcome surprised many observers who expected a harsher sentence given the severity of the charges and Hashemi's injuries. The details of this plea agreement haven't been made fully public, but several factors likely influenced this outcome. The claim that the shooting was accidental was probably central to the plea negotiations. If prosecutors believed there was reasonable doubt about Brownlee's intent to cause harm, they might have been willing to accept a plea that avoided the risk of a complete acquittal at trial. Brownlee's decision to call 911 immediately after the shooting likely worked in his favor during plea negotiations. This action demonstrated that he recognized the severity of the situation and took steps to get Hashemi the medical help she needed. It also showed cooperation with law enforcement from the beginning. Another factor that may have influenced the plea deal was Brownlee's criminal history, or lack thereof. If this was his first felony conviction, and he had no prior history of violence, prosecutors might have been more willing to consider alternatives to prison time. The victim's input in plea negotiations can also be significant. While we don't know Hashemi's position on the plea agreement, victim impact and preferences are often considered by prosecutors when making these decisions. What do you think about this outcome? Was probation appropriate for someone who shot their partner, even if accidentally? Or should the severity of the injuries have warranted prison time regardless of intent? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear your perspective on how justice should work in cases like this. The plea deal meant Brownlee was released from jail in February 2025 after serving approximately 7 months in custody. This time served was likely credited toward any sentence he received as part of the plea agreement. The terms of his probation haven't been fully disclosed, but such agreements typically include conditions like regular check-ins with probation officer, community service, counseling requirements, and restrictions on certain activities or associations. One crucial question that remains unanswered is whether Brownlee's probation includes any restrictions on contact with Hashemi. Given the domestic violence nature of this case, no contact orders are common, but without access to the specific terms of his plea agreement, this remains unknown. The legal resolution of the case brought some closure, but also raised questions about how the justice system handles domestic violence cases, particularly when they involve public figures with large social media followings. This case represents more than just a single incident of violence between two individuals. It reflects broader issues about domestic violence in the digital age, the pressure of maintaining public relationships, and the complex factors that influence how these cases are resolved through the legal system. The rise of social media has created new dynamics in domestic violence cases. When couples build their brand around their relationship, the pressure to maintain a perfect public image can become overwhelming. This pressure doesn't cause violence, but it can create additional stress and make it harder for victims to seek help or for others to recognize warning signs. Followers who watched Dino and Zahra's content were seeing a curated version of their relationship. Like all social media content, it showed the highlights and positive moments while potentially hiding serious problems. This creates a false sense of intimacy. Followers feel like they know these creators personally, but they're only seeing what the creators choose to share. The phenomenon of relationship content on social media raises questions about authenticity versus performance. When your relationship becomes your source of income, every interaction becomes potentially monetizable. This can create pressure to present conflicts as cute disagreements and serious problems as minor bumps in the road. For viewers, this case serves as a reminder that social media personas aren't complete pictures of people's lives. The couple that seems perfect online might be dealing with serious issues privately. This doesn't mean we should be paranoid about every creator we follow, but it does mean maintaining healthy skepticism about the completeness of what we see online. The legal aspect of this case also highlight how complex domestic violence prosecutions can be. The line between accidental and intentional harm isn't always clear, and prosecutors must weigh multiple factors when deciding how to proceed with charges. Factors that likely influence the plea deal in this case include the defendant's claim of accidental discharge, his immediate call for help, his cooperation with law enforcement, and possibly his lack of prior criminal history. For Hashemi, this case represents not just a personal trauma, but also a very public one. Her recovery happened under the scrutiny of thousands of followers and media attention. The intersection of domestic violence and social media fame creates unique challenges for victims who must heal while their situation remains in the public eye. The case also highlights the importance of recognizing that domestic violence can happen in any relationship, regardless of how perfect it might appear from the outside. Warning signs aren't always visible to observers, especially when a relationship is primarily seen through social media posts designed to present the best possible image. This situation serves as a reminder that behind every social media account are real people dealing with real problems. The pressure to maintain an online persona can be intense, and for couples who build their brand around their relationship, this pressure can become particularly dangerous when combined with other relationship stressors. The broader conversation about this case should include discussions about platform responsibility. Social media companies profit from relationship content, but they have limited ability to detect or prevent domestic violence among their creators. This creates complex questions about what responsibility, if any, these platforms have for the welfare of their content creators. The aftermath of the shooting and legal proceedings has dramatically changed both Brownlee and Hashemi's online presence and presumably their lives. The couple who once shared their most intimate moments with 150,000 followers now maintain separate, much quieter digital existences. Both individuals appear to have removed each other from their social media accounts, a clear indication that whatever relationship they once had is over. This digital separation mirrors the likely legal restrictions that may be part of Brownlee's probation, though the specific terms of any no-contact orders haven't been made public. For Hashemi, the path forward involves not just physical recovery from a near-fatal gunshot wound, but also emotional healing from trauma inflicted by someone she trusted and loved. The public nature of their relationship means her recovery process has been complicated by media attention and public speculation about her choices and future. The location of her injury, above the right eye, could have resulted in permanent disability or death. That she survived and appears to be recovering is remarkable, but the full extent of any lasting effects from her injuries isn't publicly known. Brain injuries, even when not immediately fatal, can have long-term consequences that aren't always immediately apparent. Brownlee's release on probation means he's now rebuilding his life outside of custody, but with the constraints and supervision that come with being a convicted felon. His social media presence, once the foundation of his income and identity, has been fundamentally altered by the events of July 2024. The couple's followers, who once engaged with their content as entertainment, now represent witnesses to a relationship that ended in violence. Many of these followers have likely experienced their own complex emotions about having supported and celebrated a relationship that culminated in such serious harm. The case raises important questions about second chances and accountability. Brownlee served 7 months in jail and will spend time on probation, but some argue this consequence doesn't match the severity of nearly killing someone. Others point to the accident claim and his cooperation with authorities as factors that justify the lighter sentence. This story also serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures of social media fame and the importance of maintaining boundaries between public performance and private life. When relationships become content, the line between authentic connection and performance can become dangerously blurred. For anyone watching this who creates content with a romantic partner, this case highlights the importance of maintaining space for your real relationship outside of your online presence. The pressure to share everything, to make every moment content-worthy, can create stress that compounds other relationship challenges. The warning signs in toxic relationships aren't always visible to outsiders, especially when those relationships are primarily seen through carefully curated social media posts. This case reminds us that domestic violence can happen in any relationship, regardless of how perfect it might appear from the outside. If you're in a relationship where you feel unsafe, or if you recognize signs of abuse in your own life, please remember that help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides 24/7 support and can be reached at 1-800-799-7233. This story also reflects broader questions about justice and whether our legal system adequately addresses domestic violence. The complexity of prosecuting these cases, particularly when intent is disputed, creates challenges that don't have easy solutions. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to thank you for watching and engaging with this difficult but important story. Cases like this remind us that behind every viral video and social media success story are real people dealing with real consequences. If you found this analysis valuable and want to see more in-depth coverage of cases that intersect with social media and modern culture, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support helps me continue bringing you thoroughly researched content that goes beyond the headlines to examine the human stories and broader implications of these events. The story of Dino and Zahra serves as a stark reminder that the difference between our online personas and our real lives can sometimes be the difference between viral fame and genuine tragedy. Their case will likely continue to influence discussions about domestic violence, social media responsibility, and justice for years to come.